Hi everybody, Arnon here in the house. I am excited to be here as always and welcome to another Words of Wisdom with Arnon on a Wednesday. So very excited to be here, looking forward to share with all of you some insights. Hopefully you can leave here with an aha moment or a lesson or a learning that's going to help you in your business, in your life, take things to the next level. So let me just adjust my camera. There we go, a little bit better. Great. Good. So, good to be here. Looking forward to share with all of you some insights. Today's session is how to be a better business negotiator. So, I'm going to share with all of you a few points that I think are very important, very critical to take into consideration when negotiating or even before you start negotiating, okay? Because one thing is really important, you got to understand, negotiation, not only in business, but in life, is something we as human beings deal with every single day. Now, to put some more meat on the bone for you, to give you some clarity on what I've just shared, is think about this. Everything you want right now, the money you want, the success you want, the house you want, the car you want, pretty much everything you want in life right now is owned by somebody else. Which means that you're gonna have to go out and negotiate your way to owning or having or experiencing that. So very important to understand that negotiation doesn't just stop or start in business. You know, my son wakes up in the morning, he says to me at 7 a.m., I want some ice cream. Negotiation is on, right? Try to negotiate with a kid at 7 a.m. in the morning to explain to him that there's no ice cream, right? We all know how that negotiation goes, right? Yeah. By the way, the best negotiators on planet Earth, children, kids. They're the best negotiators, right? So let's dive in. Let's talk about some key elements you need to understand, you need to grasp, you need to master if you're going to be a better negotiator in your business. Yes, Renee also likes ice cream at 7 a.m. Okay, very interesting. Definitely something to talk about. So a couple of things. The first thing, there's a great book that I read a couple of years ago. And basically the book talks about understanding what's written in the book, understanding something that's called a Butner. A Butner. B-A-T-N-A. Butner. And what does Butner stand for? Butner stands for the best alternative to a negotiated agreement. In other words, you've got to understand what is your Butner, what is your best alternative to a negotiated agreement. What does it mean? Where do you sit in a negotiation, negotiate, and where do you say, that's it, I'm done. I cannot give you any more, or I cannot do better than this offer, than this proposal. I cannot do anything better than this potential agreement that I'm putting in front of you. And so one of the key things you need to understand before you walk into any negotiation, and that is, what is your Butner? What is your bottom line? What is the best thing you can do? And that's it. From here, you're not willing to negotiate. That's as far or as much as you can give or do. And so you got to learn what is your Butner, best alternative to a negotiated agreement. So that's the first thing you're going to know. And you're going to know this before you start negotiating, before you go in, right? So if you're negotiating a property deal, I do a lot of M&A, right? I buy a lot of companies. I help a lot of my clients negotiate the buying of companies, expanding their businesses. And so, thank you, Eliona. Exactly, Butner, best alternative to a negotiated agreement. And so I work with a lot of amazing entrepreneurs and business owners from all over the world. And before we're negotiating a deal, before I have to gather my thoughts and say, what is our Butner? What is our best alternative to a negotiated agreement? And once I understand that, I'm very empowered. I can negotiate, or we can do a great deal. So that's the first thing you got to know. The second thing, which is very powerful about a negotiation, is when you go into a negotiation, and you've probably heard this from so many people already, but it's so important, and so I cannot leave this out. Let me tell it to you differently. Let me tell it to you in a story. When I'm buying a company, and I'm sitting with the principal, the seller of the business, I always say there's got to be four wins. There's got to be 4 wins. The first win is you have to win as the seller. You have to win. The second win is your team, right? I'm buying a company. There's a team. Your team have to win, right? The third win is the customers, the existing customers of that business have to win as well. The fact that I'm doing a deal, the fact that I'm buying the company, it's got to in some way, shape or form be a win for the clients, the existing clients, because I can offer them better services. I can offer them, more insights, more tools, more strategy, more X, more Y, more Z, whatever it is, right? So you've got to win as the seller. The team has to win. The clients have to win. And I, the buyer, the purchaser, I also have to win. And so it's really important, and you've heard this before, you've got to make it win-win. I want to put such a spotlight on that mindset, because a lot of people, when they go into a negotiation, a lot of times people feel like, first of all, it's me against you, and I have to win. I have to beat you. And that's the wrong approach. I'm telling you right now, there is nothing more powerful than doing a fair deal. Plus, if you're a person like me who's doing, I'm buying companies for myself, my clients, you don't want to get known as an asshole, a person that squeezes the other party until there's nothing left. So I'm big on doing fair deals, but most importantly, creating a win-win-win-win-win-win scenario. Very important. It's got to be fair. Nobody ever wants to leave the negotiation table feeling I got screwed. That's never a good place. Now, of course, if you're negotiating on behalf of a client, like when I negotiate on behalf of my clients, of course I want it to be in my favor, in our favor. That's very important. I want to win. But I got to make sure the other party also wins in some way, in some shape, and some form. And sometimes the win isn't financial. Sometimes the win is mental or emotional or spiritual. And so there's many wins, but they've got to feel like they're winning as well. Very important. Okay? That's the second thing. Number 1, know your Butner, your best alternative to a negotiated agreement. Number 2, win-win situation, win-win scenario. So important. The third thing, which is very important, is you've got to, and this is so important. The third thing that you got to do is you've always got to act. You've always got to act out of integrity. I'm back. Okay? You've always got to act out of integrity, out of honesty. Very important. Whether you do a deal or you don't do a deal, come as a friend and leave as a friend. Okay? It's very important. A lot of people, they don't manage to agree on a deal, they don't agree on terms, and they get upset, they get pissed off, they get frustrated, and they leave with a bitter taste in their mouth, but more importantly, they let the other party feel bad. They leave the other party feeling horrible. Now, guess what? The world is a small place, right? You might meet this person in another time, in another day, in another week, in another situation, in another scenario. If you behave badly, if you leave a negotiation that you might not have gotten what you wanted, if you leave miserable, if you leave that other person feeling bad, right? Then guess what? That person will remember how you made them feel. right? So you don't want to lash out. You don't want to be mean. Ultimately, when I'm buying companies, even if the deal doesn't happen because we can't agree on the price, we can't agree on the terms, we can't agree on the X, Y, or Z, I always prefer to leave the negotiation with the doors always open. If you ever change your mind, if you ever want to, do business, if you ever think that you want to change your approach, or, you're willing to budge on the price or whatever it is, please contact me, because I'd love to do some business together. So it's really important. Do not burn your bridges. Do not burn your bridges. So on that note, I hope these things have helped you guys. I hope you guys took at least an insight, an aha moment from this. Very important. And next week, same place, same time. Looking forward to share with you some more insights. Until then, stay strong, stay in your power, and remember to be kind. The world needs more kindness now more than ever before. So go out, spread light, help people, do good business, and add value to the marketplace, and you'll see the universe will respond and send you the treasures that are out there. So next week, see you guys soon. Ciao.